Obama returns to the public stage for first since inauguration with speech about community organizing, and not a mention of his White House successor. Former President Barack Obama sidestepped any discussion of his successor as he made his first public remarks since handing over the keys to the White House to Donald Trump. Obama stuck to the topic of community organizing on Monday as he convened a panel of students and recent college graduates at the University of Chicago. Briefly acknowledging his 3-month absence from public life, Obama asked to laughter at the top of the event, "So what's been going on while I've been gone?" Obama has been vacationing since he left the White House for good on Jan 20. He returned from Tahiti this month ready to make his comeback. "It is wonderful to be home. It is wonderful to be at the University of Chicago. It is wonderful to be on the south side of Chicago," he told his audience Monday. The former president and his wife, Michelle, live in Washington still but remain homeowners in Chicago. They're expected to move back there when Obama's library opens in 2020. Reminiscing on Monday, Obama said he arrived in Chicago just out of college filled with idealism and absolutely certain that somehow I was going to change the world. He told a laughing audience that he didn't know how and frankly admitted that he became a community organizer to pay off his student loans. "I did not really know what that meant or how to do it. But I accepted the job and for the next 3 years I lived right here in Hyde Park," he said. Now that he's out of the White House, Obama said he's pursuing his next job. "And what I'm convinced is that although there are all kinds of issues that I care about and all kinds of issues that I intend to work on," he said. Obama said he's realized the single most important thing he can do in his post-presidency is to prepare the next generation of leadership to take up the baton and to take their own crack at changing the world. "Challenges like climate change, economic inequality and criminal justice reform are daunting but they're not insoluble," he said. "What is preventing us from tackling them and making more progress really has to do with our politics and our civic life," he assessed. "It has to do with the fact that because of things like political gerrymandering our parties have moved further and further apart and it's harder and harder to find common ground." Obama tagged special interests as the reason that Washington acts in ways that don't match up with what the broad majority of Americans feel and the echo chamber of partisan media as the reason that voters neglect of a common reality that allows us to have a healthy debate. Reflecting on the speech that catapulted him to national notoriety, Obama said his 2004 speech to the Democratic National Convention declaring that he does not see red states or blue states was aspirational. "But I think it's one that I still believe in the sense that when you talk to individuals one-on-one, people, there's a lot more people have in common than divides them," he said. "But obviously that's not true when it comes to our politics and our civic life." Obama said only young people, like the bipartisan panel he was speaking to that included a college Republican, can fix what's wrong with society. And so the question then becomes, what are the ways in which we can create pathways for them to take leadership, for them to get involved? Are there ways in which we can knock down some of the barriers that are discouraging young people about a life of service? And if there are, I want to work with them to knock down those barriers and to get this next generation to accelerate their move towards leadership. Because if that happens, I think we're going to just fine," he said, and I end up being incredibly optimistic.